Hello everyone, so here I'm back again with the long delayed Escalation Tier 10 video for Pathway Park. Apologies for the delay, I got busy with some stuff. Let me show you my build real quick. I'm using 4-piece striker, all pieces with echo and critical hit damage along with the backpack and the chest piece. I'm also using Exodus Glove for solo play, along with the Ceska knee pads with echo and almost god roll DPS stats. For my guns, I'm using double MK46, all weapons with echo, critical hit chance, and frenzy, so I can deal with the variety pack debuff. I'm also using a quick step pistol, with echo and god roll stats, of course, reviver hype, decoy, and the gunner specialization. And for my seasonal modifier, already have it maxed out. I have the invincible active modifier, along with the munitions belt contagion and surge drive passive modifier. And for my stats, here are all the sources of critical hit chance. I have 186.3% critical hit damage, along with 201.5% on weapon damage plus LMG damage. So let's start with the mission. So, Pathway Park. I have already played this mission on both solo and with on co-op, both as 3 and 4 man players. And I gotta say, the mission is definitely quite tricky for the close quarters of the whole mission, but the solo version is at least more consistent, in my opinion. Like, you definitely have a lot more space to move around. You have less enemies that you have to worry about that may flank you on your current cover position, etc. So, again, yeah, I definitely don't mind farming this mission solo, but it's a completely different story for Foreman Co-op. It's not that I hate it, but it's definitely a tricky mission. So yeah. Uh, Anyways, after we complete the first encounter, should be pretty straightforward. For the second encounter, as soon as we get around this corner, we're gonna drop a decoy right in the middle, and we are gonna take cover behind this sitting right over here. The enemies are all going to spawn from the north door to our right. All of the enemy waves are gonna be coming from that door, and the moment you see a chonga spawn from that door, you'll also get a cleaner rusher from the left door that is going to try to flank you if you don't have your decoy out. So after you kill that rusher, destroy the backpack weak point on the chonga, and after the animation finishes, you're able to shoot at the chonga on the head. That's a pretty common strategy that I highly recommend using for cleaner chongas. Again, the strategy is especially useful for solo play where the chong is always facing towards you, so it's easier to hit the weak point. So, anyways, for this rope right here, we are gonna be shooting the. We're gonna have to shoot a little thingy so that the rope goes down. We can then climb up and reach the cleaner's faction cache. We're gonna need a cleaner's faction key to open that cache. And now for this encounter, we're gonna drop a decoy right in the middle, and we're gonna be finding the enemies from over here. We almost always going to get two enemies on the upper floor, one on the left side, one on the right side. And we essentially want to first kill those two enemies as well as the initial enemies on the lower floor on the middle, so that we can start pushing a little further into the room. We really don't want to push that aggressively onto the room. Otherwise, there's a very good chance that we get either mortar or we get drone from the fire thingies, etc. We don't want to get killed that easily, so it's better to just fight from over here. And once you don't see any more enemies on the upper floors, you can then start pushing a little bit further to try to kill the rest of the enemies. There's another one, and there you go. We are gonna be grabbing the LMG drops from the floor and start preparing ourselves for the next enemy encounter. I was going to say the first boss fight against Kajika, not Dragov, Kajika. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty straightforward strategy. So as soon as we open the door, we're gonna run towards the stairs on the right. And then once you are at the bottom of those stairs, we're gonna start running we're gonna start reloading our LMG. And as soon as we get a line of sight with one of the first enemies from over here, we're gonna start shooting at them. That way you should be able to quickly dispatch the two enemies that are closest to the stairs. And we can then take this piece of cover so that we can start shooting at the enemies. And there you go. Open this door. We're gonna find one enemy right in the middle. Random enemy, go away. And then we can interact with the drainage system. After that, we can open the door to our left. And before we continue along, we'll run over here to the left. We'll climb this piece of, don't know if it is like a server or a rack or something. I don't know. Anyways, after we climb it, we're gonna find a body. We can interact with it and we can get a key. And at the end of this little hallway, you're gonna find gear crate number 2. The key that we grab from the body is going to give us access to gear crate number 5. There's got 5 gear crates on this mission, if I remember correctly. So anyways, after you get into this room, make sure that you are close to full ammo if possible. We are gonna be dropping a decoy right in the middle. That way we can get the attention from most of the enemy waves that are gonna be approaching from the top floor. Both from there, and the 2 spots on the, I believe it's actually 3 spawn points on the back of the room, west side. Ideally, I suggest that you just ignore Kajika because he can only do 2 things. He can either drop electrical traps or he can shoot you with his crossbow. He's very precise with the crossbow, but it's also extremely trivial to try to evade the crossbow shots. Like, just don't lose sight with him and make sure that you are constantly moving. Try to not move into too predictable ways, otherwise he's gonna get a bolt right on your body. The bolt will leave you on Hellgate. He's gonna put you on fire. You're gonna get down. I'm being very specific right now. You're gonna get down, and once you get revived by your own reviver hype, you are almost always gonna get killed if you don't use the quick armor option that the game provides you. So yeah, it's extremely easy to get killed by Kajika's bolts. So it's always important to try to evade them. And after you kill all of the NPCs, you can focus all your fire on Kajika until you do enough damage for him to run away. After he runs away, we're gonna spawn the last enemy waves. And with that, we should be able to continue towards the next part of the mission. Let's just kill the enemy first, and there you go. Gotta make sure to grab some LMG ammo first. There's another grenade. Some more ammo. Ceska drops. Yes, I did this during targeted Ceska. Apologies everyone, I wasn't able to get a video on time. Probably was, don't want to admit I was a bit of a slacker, but yeah. But still, I think I definitely made a good use of my time. So, I mean, definitely a sorry for my part, but also not sorry. So anyways, after we open the doors for the train, we're gonna shoot this little yellow box over here. That's gonna open this door, and with that we get access to gear crate number 3. From here, we can climb these stairs, and we can drop from over here. If we are very unlucky, next room we're gonna get rogue agents. I definitely had gotten them already on 2 occasions. One on co-op, it was almost impossible to kill them, and one on solo. It was tricky. I managed to beat them, but it was tricky. So yeah, if you don't get the rogue agents here, the strategy is to pretty much fight from the back, take cover whenever possible, block line of sight with enemies that are way too difficult to kill, especially yellows or damage reduction enemies, and try to be careful with the debris that is gonna be falling on top of you. And for the second enemy wave, you can take cover on this train, and you're gonna get some enemies on the top. One is always gonna try to grab the turret, and the other one is gonna spawn at the bottom. After you kill those, we can continue along from towards the next room. And if you get rogue agents, the strategy, I'm only gonna explain it, won't show it, but the strategy is to pretty much run to where I'm currently at right now. You're gonna find the rogues right in front of you, throw a decoy next to them so that they start targeting at it, and try to focus all your fire on a single rogue. If one of them has one for all, target that enemy. And yeah, try to push back as you get pushed by the rogue agents. That would be pretty much the strategy that I would use if you get rogue agents on the previous room. So anyways, after you kill the 2 enemies that are gonna be right in front of you, shouldn't have too much issue, we can take cover over here and deal with the next 3 enemies. Always be careful with the drone operator that's gonna spawn on the back of the room. And after you kill the 3 enemies, we can continue along with the mission. We can run towards the side of these flames so that we don't get flame and receive damage. And after you drop down, we can immediately interact with the crane panel. And we're gonna be running from the left hallway. Well, we're actually gonna face the left hallway, right where I'm currently at right now, take over here, and spawn kill the first wave of enemies. It's always gonna be 4. After you kill those 4 enemies, we're gonna get 2 more enemies on this side, and we need to prioritize those. One of them is always gonna be a yellow enemy, and they will always prioritize trying to click the panel control that I was aiming at. That thing can stop the explosives, and we have to run towards the control panel, interact with it, and make the crane move. We don't want to waste time, so we have to focus on that enemy. And from there, for the rest of the enemy waves, just stand over here, be on the lookout for the enemies that are gonna be climbing off the ladders, and if you get an enemy on the left flank, prioritize those. If you see a chonga, shoot them first on the backpack weak point, and as soon as they finish up their climbing up animation, they should be taking out their helmet. Sometimes they get stuck on that weird animation, but yeah, after a little bit of time, you should be able to start damaging them straight to their head. Shouldn't be that much issue killing them. Just keep your distance. And be careful with the healer enemies, like in this case. I was running out of LMG ammo. There should be an ammo box nearby. Or you can also grab the LMG ammo drops. And there you go. After you kill all the enemies, we have to wait for the crane to arrive towards the drill. We can then interact with this panel control thingy so that we can use the explosives. Just gotta wait for the animation, for the prompt to show up. And after that, there you go. We destroy the crane. Excellent. Now from here, we can drop down. And as we get towards the next room, it's gonna be a very long hallway where we can see the front of the drill. Before we continue towards the mission, we can take a little detour to the right where we can get gear crate number 4. We can see this little gap over here. We can drop down and you should be able to get gear crate number 4. Now ideally I should have dropped down and show you the gear crate, but yeah, I forgot on this video. I just realized now after recording this. So yeah, anyways, I did manage to show the gear crate 4, so don't worry, I didn't forget about it. Anyways, for this part right here, you're always gonna get 2 enemies. You're gonna kill the first one, then after you destroy the weak point of the second enemy, which is always gonna be a chonga, we can start going straight for the head and kill the enemy. There you go. And we can continue along with the mission. Now, for this part right here, I'm gonna be dropping a decoy run over here while taking cover on this piece of cover. We cannot take cover on a further position because we are gonna get shot by the enemies. We will proc our exit slopes and or hellgate. depending on the cooldowns. And yeah, I don't like to get shot, so I find more consistent to just take that middle piece of cover. And as you kill more of the enemies, we can now move towards the left and kill the rest of the enemies. There's gonna be either 5 or 6 enemies. I didn't count them, but it's only one enemy wave. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. And from here, we'll continue along towards the final ammo box room resupply thingy. For that Kajika boss fight, Kajika no Dragov, we have to make sure that we fill out our LMG ammo first. We don't want to run out of ammo in the middle of the fight. And we're also gonna empty out more of our LMGs, of course. This turret right over here makes some very interesting sounds when you're shooting at them. You can see how the sound goes loud and quiet and loud and quiet. It's quite an interesting pair of stairs. Once you're ready, open the bunker door thingy, or don't know how you call those type of doors, but anyways, open the door. And then we can throw a decoy over here, right where I was standing at. After a few seconds, we're gonna get the first enemy waves, and I'm gonna prioritize the enemies on the right. I almost always get one mortar enemy, one purple mortar enemy to be more specific, and it's very likely that one of those enemies is going to have one for all. We don't want to deal with damage reduction, so we have to focus on that enemy first. After that, focus on the enemies on the top, while making sure that you don't get shot by the sniper. They do a ton of damage, so be careful with that. And from that, just focus on the enemies on the top. After you kill the enemies, Kajika will spawn, and we have to do enough damage against him so that we can continue along towards the next phase. He has a ton of health though, so just keep that in mind. And every time he drops his shock traps, there's almost always he's going to drop one of those traps under your feet. So you have enough time to like just move away from the threat and don't get shocked. And just like the first boss encounter, Kajika can only drop shock traps or shoot you with his crossbow thingy. The broken crossbow that can bypass Hellgate, or well, quote unquote bypass. I already explained the whole interaction thingy, so yeah, just be careful with him. Once you're able to move across the bridge, we are immediately gonna drop a decoy right on the middle so that we can get the attention of the beginning enemy wave. If you see an enemy with one for all, prioritize that enemy. And from here, we want to block line of sight with Kajika so that we don't get screwed over by his bolts. Be careful with your left flank. Enemies like to flank you from over there. And try to focus on the ad so that we don't trigger the whole steam section. That steam is going to be doing damage straight to your health. And it's not very fun trying to kill ads while getting damaged by the steam. So yeah. Now, very important, once you kill all the NPCs, run down those stairs and be careful on not stepping on the traps if there's any. If you drop down from the top floor where I'm currently aiming at and you land on a trap, one of the shock traps that Kajika drops, there is a very high chance that you're gonna get insta-killed. I don't know what happens, but it happens. Already lost at least 2 Escalation tier 10 runs because of that. No, actually 3. One of those was co-op. And I really don't want you guys to lose your tokens. So yeah, run down the stairs, be careful with the traps, and you should be fine. Alright? So yeah, that's your warning right there. So yeah, after Kajika spawns, we're gonna make sure that we kill all of the enemies first. Make sure to ignore Kajika whenever possible. And after we do enough damage to the boss, we're gonna trigger the final phase of his boss fight. Make sure that you have one Frenzy LMG ready because we need to prioritize killing the boss. Kajika will start using a machete and he will rush towards us. And because this is Escalation tier 10, he has a ton of damage. So we really gotta be careful on not getting shocked on the worst possible time and being killed by Kajika with his machete. Machete. It's a bit of a weird English pronunciation, but anyways. After this, if you want to level off the augment for any of your items, make sure that you start equipping them. I wanted to level up the augments for some of my co-op DPS build pieces, so I equipped those. And as soon as you interact with the laptop on Kajika's hideout and end up listening to the whole dialogue after that, the mission will end and all the XP will go towards the equipped items. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, the key that we grab at the beginning, we can use it on the blue door that I previously showed. We're gonna get access to gear crate number 5. That's the only way you can get access to that room. And yeah, after you interact with the laptop, we're gonna get some final lines and the mission will end. And there you go. All the XP went to the items that I have equipped, and yeah, that's Pathway Park, everyone. As I said, the co-op version, I found it extremely tricky to fight, to play. But the solo version, it's not that bad actually. Like, I don't really mind farming that mission, to be honest with you. And again, I feel very sorry still. Like, I already did the joke of sorry, not sorry, but I feel very sorry to not releasing this escalation video on time for both LMG and Ceska farming. I really wish I made better use of my time and my schedule. Well, not my best use of my time, but like be better with my schedule so that I was able to get those videos out in time and be able to help you out, have a little bit more impact for this video. But anyways, I do know that some of you guys still like watching this video, and thanks to all of that support, I still like to release these Escalation Tier 10 videos. So yeah, after all of that, that's gonna be the end for this video. Like, subscribe if you like this video, and leave a comment down below. I read all of your comments, and as always, I'll be seeing you guys in the next Division 2 video. Thank you guys so much for the support, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.